as we're just days away from the regular season coming to a close, the MVP debate is getting as intense as ever as the candidates get their last chance to try and prove to the NBA voters that they deserve to come away as the 2022 NBA's most valuable player. This is definitely the closest race the NBA has had in a while, if not ever, with multiple candidates putting up resumes that would see them as runaway winners for the MVP in practically any other year. To put it into perspective just how good the top guys in the league have been this year, if you average every MVP season in NBA history, you get 43.8 combined points, rebounds, and assists per game. Meanwhile, there are just 6 players doing those combined numbers or better, tied for the most ever in Giannis, Jokic, Embiid, LeBron, Durant, and Doncic, which just goes to show you the absurd collection of top shelf talent. However, only one man can come away with the award, and in this video, I'm going to be going over exactly why Nikola Jokic is hands down the best and most valuable player this season in the NBA, and why he is most certainly deserving of the award over his peers. Before I dive into his historic season, I feel like it's only fair to give some credit towards the other runners-up for the award, as they too have done some incredibly special things this season. Also, only a small percentage of people who watch my videos are actually subscribed, so if you end up liking this video, consider subscribing. It's free and it helps me out a ton. Starting with Durant, in my opinion, still the best scorer in the NBA, but he didn't play enough games to be considered for this award. LeBron James, although he's in his 19th year in the NBA and is arguably having one of his best seasons in his Hall of Fame career, was on a team that just didn't make the playoffs. Luka Doncic emerged as a top 5 candidate recently, and even though his numbers and impact are ridiculous, he wasn't able to do it consistently all year round, which is what was needed to top Jokic. Devin Booker, the best player on the NBA's best team, has easily had his best season and is looking to try to win his first NBA championship. And then we have the 2 candidates that are deserving of the second and third positions of the MVP race and are the runners up for the MVP trophy. Joel Embiid, leading the league in scoring as the first ever center to do this since Shaq, is also averaging his career low turnover rate and career best assist rate, as he also is one of, if not the best defensive players in the NBA right now. And Giannis, the already 2-time MVP, is putting up another ridiculous season, averaging the most points per game in his career, resembling practically every stat from his past MVP seasons, and has managed to bring his free throw percentage back up to 72%, practically making him unstoppable, while he's also poised to make another run in the playoffs and try to go back to back with the Bucks. While I definitely think the other top candidates like Embiid and Giannis certainly have strong cases on why they should be considered for this award, I'm about to go over exactly why I think the award needs to go to Nikola Jokic. Starting with the fact that just last night, Jokic became the first ever player in NBA history to have a season scoring 2,000 points, grab 1,000 rebounds, and hand out 500 assists, where the next closest player who was even remotely close to that mark was Wilt Chamberlain back in 1968, where surprisingly enough, he finished just 8 points shy of the 2,000 point mark, and he went on to win the MVP that year. All year long, Nikola Jokic has put up absolutely ridiculous performances against his competition and has absolutely carried the Nuggets to the 6th seed in the Western Conference, where if the season ended today, they'd be going up against an extremely injury-riddled Warriors team that I think they have a true shot at beating. What he's been able to accomplish this season with the Nuggets, with the pieces he's had around him alone, would consider him a top candidate even without the absolutely ridiculous stats that he has, but those just add a cherry on top of the pie in terms of his case to win this award. All season, the Nuggets have had to deal with countless injuries on their roster, and most notably to the second and third best players on their team in Jamal Murray and Michael Porter Jr., where Murray missed the entire season and Porter Jr. just played in 9 games, where this team easily had the worst supporting cast out of any of the other legit MVP candidates against Jokic. And with that, yes, the Nuggets are just in the 6th seed in the West right now. However, they are tied for 5th and just 2 and 3 games back respectively from the 3rd and 4th seed in the West, while only having 1 less win than the Sixers and 2 less from the Bucks. So if you ask me, Jokic has carried his squad heavily this season compared to the help that the other superstars have on their teams. Now, with the team records out of the way for the top 3 candidates, as they all have extremely similar records, while both the Sixers and Bucks have far superior teams as a whole, even with the Nuggets' current roster, they've still managed to be a top 10 offense, and when Jokic is on the floor, they score at a rate better than the top-ranked Utah Jazz while also having a top 10 defense in the NBA. And then if we look at their individual statistics and how they rank amongst each other in terms of the top 3 candidates in Jokic, Embiid, and Giannis, Jokic ranks 3rd in points per game, 1st in rebounds per game, 1st in assists per game, and 8th in the entire NBA, which is absurd because the next closest center in the assist leaderboard is Embiid, who is all the way down in 50th place, 1st in field goal percentage, 1st in steals per game, and 14th in the entire NBA if I had to add that, where once again the next closest center is Embiid, and he's all the way down to 45th. Now that was just the regular statistics in comparison to the 3 possible MVPs this season. If you move on to the advanced statistics, Jokic in comparison to the rest of the NBA cakewalks all over practically any other player, and it isn't even close. Jokic is currently on pace to hold the greatest PER in the entire history of the NBA with 33.02 on the season, where he's practically locked that statistic up unless he has his absolute worst game of the season against the Lakers in his final game, and even then I don't think he'll be able to fall far enough downward. And for those of you who don't know, player efficiency rating is the all-in-one basketball rating, which attempts to collect or boil down all of a player's contributions into one number, and many people, including myself, believe that this is the greatest statistic to look at when trying to determine a player's impact on the floor by simply just looking at a number, and Jokic is on pace to record the greatest PER of all time. This is a stat that dates back decades and has even took Wilt's incredible performances back in the day into account, to the point where he's actually the guy who recorded the highest PER in a season before Jokic right now. And what is even crazier is the fact that in this exact same season, Giannis is currently putting up the 3rd greatest PER right behind Wilt, and he's also practically clinched that position as well. Jokic also has the 5th best true shooting percentage in the entire NBA, first among other MVP candidates, and he's been so dominant in terms of his efficiency that Steph Curry is the only player in NBA history with a usage rate of more than 30% to post a higher true shooting percentage in a single season. He has the highest player impact estimate in the entire NBA, leads the league in win shares, value over replacement player, box plus minus, and on and off court margin. He has the highest offensive rating out of any MVP candidate, highest assist percentage, once again being the only center in the top 10 even remotely close, and tied with Gobert for 1st in defensive rebound percentage. And then lastly, what makes every single thing I've just told you even more impressive is the fact that Jokic ranks the lowest out of the other MVP candidates in usage rate, and it's by a quite considerable amount compared to Giannis and Embiid, where Embiid leads the league with 37.6%, Giannis is 3rd with 34%, and Jokic finds himself in 10th with 30.9%. So not only is he practically leading the majority of the categories in the NBA, out of his competition for the award, he's statistically a part of less of his overall team's plays during a game. After the boatloads of information I just dropped on your doorstep, it's clear that Jokic has had the superior season to any other player in the league, but that most certainly doesn't take away from the Hall of Fame seasons Embiid or Giannis are having. It's just simply the fact that Jokic's season was better in many different ways. He's practically unstoppable on the floor. You try to double team him and he'll find the open man who is guarded by the guy who came in to help in a heartbeat, as he's one of the best passers in the NBA. And then if you don't double him, he'll shoot right over top of you or simply just dominate his way down low for an easy look. What we're seeing this season from Jokic is truly something we've never seen before, and I hope all of you guys are realizing this with me. With that being said, if you don't agree with me, let me know who you truly think deserves to be this year's MVP down below in the comments, because I'm totally open to hearing what others have to say in regards to this debate. As always, if you did enjoy, be sure to leave a like to help this video get shared along YouTube's algorithm, and subscribe to my channel if you want to see more NBA videos like this one that I will be posting multiple times per week. Thank you all for watching, and I hope you all have a great night.